Everybody, please open. Yes, thank you. Everybody, please open. Yes, because so you can see your faces on the on the platform. Okay, everybody. Okay, and Rocio, very good. Keila, Claudia Quispe, Valeria, Sedaniel Natalie, that's great. Maria Magne, could you open your camera, please? Turn on your camera. Rolando, also. Laura, Eric, Genesis, María Belén, Leonela, Sandra, Laura. That's great. Okay. Okay, class. So today we are going to continue working on this critical thinking, developing critical thinking skills. So let's start talking about some. Yesterday we talked about the the CRAAT test to assess or evaluate the sources of information. Okay. Yes. To reinforce the idea, we're going to see something about the sources that will wait a minute. Okay, these are some there are more information about critical thinking, but here we're going to see, for example, here, elements of thought, reasoning. The parts of elements of thinking are as follows.
Professor,
no?
Professor, I'm sorry. Some classmates are in the waiting room.
Let's see. So this document is on the platform, you can see, no? But we can see, we are going to read some parts of it. Elements of thought. All reasoning has a purpose. All reasoning is an attempt to figure something out, to settle some question, to solve some problems. All reasoning is based on assumptions. All reasoning is done for some point of view. All reasoning is based on data, information, or evidence. All reasoning is expressed through and shaped by concepts and ideas. All reasoning contains inference or interpretation, by which we draw conclusion and give meaning to data. All reasoning leads somewhere or has implications and consequences. Okay, it's something that it's interesting to know. And the author could talk something about this also. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's continue looking. Okay, universal intellectual standards. The intellectual standards that are to these elements are used to determine the quality of reasoning. Okay. These are standards to determine the quality of reasoning. Good critical thinking requires having a command of these standards. According to Paul and Elder, the ultimate goal is for the standards of reasoning to become infused in all thinking so as to become the guide to better and better reasoning. The intellectual standards include, okay, who wants to read this? Clarity. Anybody who wants to read? Valerie, do you read?
Okay, Professor.
Okay.
Just the questions, right?
Yes, clarity.
Could you elaborate? Could you illustrate what you meant? Could you give me an example?
Yes. So when you are talking, sharing some ideas, these are good questions to ask to get the clarity of the idea. Okay. Okay, Celia. Celia, continue. Could you read accuracy? Celia. Celia. Celia.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Could we check on that?
Go on, please. Go on, Celia.
How could we find out if that is true? How could we verify or test that?
Yeah. Okay, accuracy. So when you are talking, you use some ideas, or you want to write something, or you're reading something, if you want to check accuracy, you have to ask these questions. How could I check that on that? How could we find out if that is true? That's interesting. Precision. Natalie, could you read, please? Precision.
Yes, precision. Could you be more specific? Could you give me more details? Could you be more exact?
Yes, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Natalie. Could you, okay. Precision, you are looking for precision. Jose Daniel, could you read relevance?
How does that relate to the problem? How does that bear on the question? How does that help us with the issue?
That's it. Thank you. That's it. No? So when you talk about the relevance, for example, you want to talk about education, or so I read something about the communicative approach, and you're talking with a partner, or reading a book or something. So you can ask these questions first. Okay. Rode, will you read next steps? Deb?
Okay, factors make this difficult. What are some of the complexities for these questions? What are some of the difficulties we need to deal with?
Yes, that's right. Excellent. Yes. Johnny, will you read, please?
Yes.
Read.
Do we need to look at this from another perspective? Do we need to consider another point of view? Do we need to look at this in other ways?
Yeah, that's also very important to analyze. Okay, Alicia, could you read logic?
Does all of this make sense together? Does your first paragraph fit in with your last one? Does what you say follow from the evidence?
That's good, very good. Valerie, I don't know. Okay, logic. Sorry, significance. Okay, Andrea, could you please?
Yes, Professor. Is this the most important problem to consider? Is this the central idea to focus on? Which of these facts are most important?
That's it. So when you're writing, you have completed writing, you can ask this question, no? And you, for example, reading a paragraph, because when you write, you have to write and rewrite, okay? So the first one, okay, you can do it, but after that, you can start asking these questions, evaluating your own work, okay? Eric, Furnace.
Is my thinking justifiable in context? Am I taking into account the thinking of others? Is my purpose fair given the situation? Am I using my concepts in keeping with educated usage? Or am I distorting them to get what I want?
Yes, so that's also very important, you know, when you write, when you read, when you talk about something, it is fair, okay? With this, you can talk about these intellectual traits, okay? These are consistent application of the standard of thinking of the elements of thinking, resulting in the development of intellectual traits or intellectual humility, intellectual courage, intellectual empathy, intellectual autonomy, intellectual integrity, intellectual perseverance, confidence in reason, fair-mindedness. Okay? So if you develop these elements of thinking, you're going to have a very successful paper. Okay? Here we have also some characteristics of a well-cultivated critical thinker. Okay. Yes, all those are related with this critical thinking. Okay. Right. we can talk about there is in the article. Okay. So when we talk about sources, we have the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary sources, okay? Types of sources. Primary, first-hand evidence giving you direct access to your research topic, no? Empirical, newspapers, magazines, letters or diary entries, photographs, audio clips, such as speeches or interviews. That's the first-hand evidence that you have for you to develop your writing, okay? Secondary, second-hand information that analyzes, describes, or evaluates sources, okay? So we have books, journals, blog posts, textbooks, documentaries. And tertiary, sources that identify, index, or consolidate primary and secondary sources. So you have here encyclopedias, dictionaries, almanacs, bibliographies, indices. Okay. So, for example, when you are developing your writing, well, you can say, well, I take my information from the primary source or secondary source or a tertiary source. Okay, so here you have the example. Okay, these documents are on the platform. Okay, this is checking important. What are credible sources? Okay, talk about the piece of information that we are going to use to develop. And here we talk about something about practice. So it's related with what we did yesterday. Okay, you can read this, and so you can understand it better. Okay, very good. Just to finish the idea of yesterday. So let's start with the lesson number 2. Okay, sorry. Lesson number 2. Could you please open the platform? Please open the platform. Okay. You have already done this. Okay, those are the videos, the lesson. Okay. Thinking approach. We had a saying here, a phrase by Adrienne Rich. Responsibility to yourselves means refusing to let others do your thinking. talking and meaning for you. It means learning to respect and use your own brains and instinct, hence rapping with hard work. That's what's saying by Adrian Rich. I think this is related with how they explain critical thinking. Okay? Very good. Lesson 2. Okay. We're going to watch this video. It's talking about the Socratic method. Okay, we are going to open. Let's see. Okay. So yes, we are going to watch the video, and you can take some notes, please.
Conception, a baby in the womb already has a heartbeat, arms and...
Welcome to Learn Law Better. Wondering what the Socratic method is all about? Curious as to why professors use it? Stay to the end and learn the different ways it is used and how to survive when your professor calls on you. Now don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy this episode and click the subscribe button and bell if you don't want to miss any future episodes. Hi, this is Bo Bias, and today I want to discuss the Socratic method. The method is named after Socrates, the Greek philosopher who lived in Athens in the 5th century BC. Though Socrates never wrote anything, his student, Plato, captured his teachings in a series of books we call the Dialogues. In the Dialogues, Socrates asks questions to others in the story, trying to get the other person to get to the truth of some issue. His most famous dialogue is called Phaedo, where Socrates asks questions to his students on the immortality of the soul. It's a wonderful book if you've never read it, and it's fairly short. The Socratic method is a great teaching tool because it helps keep students engaged, which is in stark contrast to the traditional lecture. Some questions are designed to elicit lower-level thinking answers. For example, in what year did the American Revolution begin? A simple 1776 is all that is needed. But the Socratic method used by a seasoned professor is used to engage the higher-level thinking, as when the professor asks, why did the American colonies revolt in 1776? Now let's examine how professors use it in the classroom. Approach number 1 is the boot camp approach. The professor's role is to break the student by asking question after question until the student can't answer a question. This establishes the professor's dominance and humbles the student so that the student is willing to learn. You will be glad to hear that this approach isn't used much today. Approach number 2 is the accountability approach. The professor starts asking questions to dozens of students during a class session, but most of these questions require very little thought. The professor does this to ensure that students read the material. Approach number 3 is the thinking approach and most closely resembles how Socrates interacted with others. During a class session, the professor will ask questions to a few students, usually no more than 3, 4, or 5. Each student will answer questions for 15 to 20 minutes as the professor tries to get the student to explain the assigned material. For example, the professor may ask, Mr. Smith, why do you believe that the court ruled in favor of the defendant? The professor will also ask hypothetical questions, which requires the students to move beyond the assigned reading. For example, Mr. Smith, that is a correct understanding of the material. Now let's change the facts. Assume that the victim was holding a gun instead of a baseball. How does that change your answer? Let's now look at how you can survive and thrive in this type of environment. 1, prepare for class. If you didn't read or only skim the reading, you're not going to do as well. 2, as the professor asks questions of others, pretend the professor is asking you the question. This means you should answer the question in your mind and jot down a few notes. If you don't do this, you're not going to engage with the material and miss the main benefit of the Socratic method. 3rd, look at the professor when answering the question. Often the answers are nowhere to be found in your notes or reading, so don't look for them. Stop, think, and answer. If it's taking you some time to think of the words you want to use, it's okay to tell the professor something like, "Professor, I know the answer, but I just need a few more seconds to gather my thoughts." 4th, if you don't understand the question, ask the professor to rephrase. 5th, try to answer the question. This method is not about giving a perfect answer. In fact, by trying, you very well could get to the right answer, and if you don't, at least you tried. Also, a skilled professor will help you get to an answer. What I tell my students is that I would rather see them try and get it completely wrong, rather than for them to have never tried at all. Remember, this is a learning experience. You should learn not only from your successes, but also from your failures. If you enjoy this material,
Okay. What did the professor say about critical thinking? How can you, in the classroom or as a teacher, could apply this technique? Yeah, would you like? Yes, Gavin?
He explained different methods. There were some questions that the teacher can make learners. And yes, I couldn't take notes very well because he talked very fast.
So fast? Or would you like to listen again?
Yes,
Yes?
be good.
Okay.
Yes, Professor.
Okay, let's do again.
curious as to why professors use it, stay to the end and learn the different ways it is used and how to survive when your professor calls on you. Now, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy this episode and click the subscribe button and bell. Welcome to Learn Law Better. Wondering what the Socratic method is all about? Curious as to why professors use it? Stay to the end and learn the different ways it is used and how to survive when your professor calls on you. Now, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy this episode and click the subscribe button and bell if you don't want to miss any future episodes. Hi, this is Bo Baez, and today I want to discuss the Socratic method. The method is named after Socrates, the Greek philosopher who lived in Athens in the 5th century BC. Though Socrates never wrote anything, his student, Plato, captured his teachings in a series of books we call the Dialogues. In the Dialogues, Socrates asks questions to others in the story, trying to get the other person to get to the truth of some issue. His most famous dialogue is called Phaedo, where Socrates asks questions to his students on the immortality of the soul. It's a wonderful book if you've never read it, and it's fairly short. The Socratic method is a great teaching tool because it helps keep students engaged, which is in stark contrast to the traditional lecture. Some questions are designed to elicit lower-level thinking answers. For example, in what year did the American Revolution begin? A simple 1776 is all that is needed. But the Socratic method used by a seasoned professor is used to engage the higher-level thinking, as when the professor asks, why did the American colonies revolt in 1776? Now let's examine how professors use it in the classroom. Approach number 1 is the boot camp approach. The professor's role is to break the student by asking question after question until the student can't answer a question. This establishes the professor's dominance and humbles the student so that the student is willing to learn. You will be glad to hear that this approach isn't used much today. Approach number 2 is the accountability approach. The professor starts asking questions to dozens of students during a class session, but most of these questions require very little thought. The professor does this to ensure that students read the material. Approach number 3 is the thinking approach and most closely resembles how Socrates interacted with others. During a class session, the professor will ask questions to a few students, usually no more than 3, 4, or 5. Each student will answer questions for 15 to 20 minutes as the professor tries to get the student to explain the assigned material. For example, the professor may ask, "Mr. Smith, why do you believe that the court ruled in favor of the defendant?" The professor will also ask hypothetical questions, which requires the students to move beyond the assigned reading. For example, "Mr. Smith, that is a correct understanding of the material. Now let's change the facts. Assume that the victim was holding a gun instead of a baseball. How does that change your answer?" Let's now look at how you can survive and thrive in this type of environment. 1, prepare for class. If you didn't read or only skim the reading, you're not going to do as well. 2, as the professor asks questions of others, pretend the professor is asking you the question. This means you should answer the question in your mind and jot down a few notes. If you don't do this, you're not going to engage with the material and miss the main benefit of the Socratic method. 3rd, look at the professor when answering the question. Often the answers are nowhere to be found in your notes or reading, so don't look for them. Stop, think, and answer. If it's taking you some time to think of the words you want to use, it's okay to tell the professor something like, "Professor, I know the answer, but I just need a few more seconds to gather my thoughts." 4th, if you don't understand the question, ask the professor to rephrase. 5th, try to answer the question. This method is not about giving a perfect answer. In fact, by trying, you very well could get to the right answer, and if you don't, at least you tried. Also, a skilled professor will help you get to an answer. What I tell my students is that I would rather see them try and get it completely wrong, rather than for them to have never tried at all. Remember, this is a learning experience. You should learn not only from your successes, but also from your failures. If you enjoyed this material, hit the like button. Also, to avoid missing any future episodes, hit
Okay. So what is a Socratic method? And it consists?
It is related to prepare a lesson and ask question in deep understanding. So change the obvious answer to trying to engage students to analyze the information that they were provided.
Yes, very good. Any ideas how, for example, you as a student or the professor mentioned 5 steps.
Yes, he mentioned 5 steps to survive, or first is to be prepared.
Yes.
Be prepared and answer questions in our minds.
Yes.
And this is interesting because we can engage in the topic. Then we have to look at the professor. Then ask for clarifications if we don't understand something. And finally, try to answer the questions.
Yes. Very good, excellent. So the professor said that you can learn, you remember, this is a learning experience. You can learn from your successes and your failures. That's interesting. Excellent, very good. Keep in mind this because we're going to continue working this. With the next step, let's move on to the platform. Where is the platform? Okay. Okay, we have already seen this. This is the video. And here in this pagina, see what's critical thinking meaning. It's a document that I showed you before. And let's start with lesson 2. Lesson 2. You can open also, it's the PowerPoint. Can you see the PowerPoint?
No, professor.
No yet, professor.
No?
No, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The thinking approach. Who are critical thinkers? The systemic evaluation or formulation of beliefs or statements by rational standards. The thinking approach. We were talking about the thinking approach. It's a systematic evaluation or formulation of beliefs or statements by rational standards. Okay. Remember those questions that we asked about accuracy. Remember those we have read? Let's talk about this. It's a set of information and beliefs, generating and processing a skill and a habit of using those skills to guide behavior. Okay, so this is the practical way to use critical thinking. No? Who are critical thinkers? Ask questions. Gather relevant information. Think through solutions and conclusions. Consider alternative systems of thought. Communicate effectively. They are willing to admit when they are wrong or when they don't know the answer, rather than digging into a gut reaction or emotional point of view. Okay? So when you're trying to get to be a critical thinker, you please try to put in practice all this suggestion. No? 7 habits of critical thinkers. Okay. Truth seeking. Ask questions and follow the evidence. Judicious. Able to make judgment amid uncertainty. Inquisitive. Strive to be well informed on a wide range of topics. Confident in reasoning. Trustful of own skills to make good judgment. Systematic. Organized and thoughtful problem solving. Analytical. Identify potential consequences of decisions. Open-minded. Tolerant of different views and sensitive to own biases. Okay, the 7 habits of critical thinking. Okay, so keep in mind this. What are the critical thinking skills? Important critical thinking: interpretation, recognition a problem and describing it without bias. Distinguish the main idea from a text. Constructing tentative categorization, organization structure. Clarifying the meaning of the sign, chart, or the graph. Okay.
We're not seeing that slides.
You're not? Sorry. I change. Okay. Important critical thinking skill. Okay. Interpretation. Okay, that's one skill, interpretation. How can you apply interpretation? Recognizing a problem and describing it without bias. Distinguishing the main idea from the text. Constructing a tentative categorization or organization structure. Clarifying the meaning of the sign, chart, or the graph. Okay, that's it. One skill of critical thinking. Analysis. Identifying similarities and differences between two approaches to a solution. Isolating the main claim made in an editorial or statement and tracing it back to the supporting reason for that claim. Okay. Okay. Evaluation. Judging an author or a speaker's credibility. Determining whether the evidence at hand supports the conclusion being drawn. Recognizing whether an argument's conclusion follows with certainty or confidence from its premises. Okay. Inference. Inference. Identifying the implication or the position someone is advocating. Predicting what will happen next in a given situation. Developing a workable plan to gather information to resolve an uncertainty. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you have those skills. Inference. What is the others? Inference.
Interpretation.
Analysis, evaluation.
Yes, very good. Also, We talk about inference. Yeah. Explanation. Constructing a chart or a graph to organize the findings. Stating research results and describing the required methods and criteria. Stating an evidence that led you to accept or reject another person's position on an issue. That's explanation. Okay. Self-regulation. Checking for understanding of an author or speaker without injecting your own views and ideas. Reminding yourself to separate personal opinions and assumptions from those of the author of a text. Reconsidering your interpretation in view of a new analysis of fact or error discovered in your work. Okay, so you put in practice all these suggestions, you can develop very well, very accurate decisions, okay, and critical judgments, okay. That's it. Very good. So, we're going to use all this information to develop an exercise, okay? If you want, you can do in groups, or if you want, you can work alone. Okay, it's up to you. Okay. Now you have to tell me you want to work in groups.
Professor, if we work in groups, can we choose our groups?
Yes, I will open the rooms and you are going to work in groups, okay? You're going to choose your rooms. Okay, no more than 4 people, please. In each group. Okay. Very good. And remember, you work in group, but everyone should upload the exercise on the platform. Okay? Excellent. And let's move on. So
what is it that we have to do, Professor?
okay, I'm going to show you.
I have to do.
Okay. Wait a minute. Sorry. Okay. On the PowerPoint, you have this. On the last page, the PowerPoint, you have these examples of critical thinking. Okay. In photo number 1, you're going to demuestra cómo utiliza critical thinking en la siguiente situación. Por ejemplo, un boxeador. ¿Qué tendría que hacer, digamos, un boxeador para aplicar el pensamiento crítico? Un juez, ¿no? Media, student, teacher. Difficult, when you are facing a difficult situation, okay? When you are reading, when you're writing, okay? So you have to write some ideas how these, for example, these people or the situations can apply those things that we have already talked, okay? And make examples and science suggestions to apply the critical thinking in all of these situations, okay? For example, beliefs, asking questions, research, okay? For example, a boxer. Well, I'm going to talk about a boxer. Think about boxers. Remember that we have said that critical thinking is the ability to analyze the information on the situation and make reasoned decisions. Involves judgment, open-mindedness, and clarity of thought. Okay, for example, a boxer they say, a boxer about to get in the ring will likely need to evaluate the strengths and the weakness of his opponent. He might learn that his opponent's left foot is very strong, but his opponent also gets tired after the third round. With this knowledge, he can go into the bout with strong defenses in the first 3 rounds before going on the offense. Okay, in this case, the boxer, he will, before going to the ring, maybe he can see some
Professor,
yes.
So we have to use the critical thinking skills
Yes.
with situations.
Yes.
How could be applied?
Yes. How can you,
we have to use 11 situations or the both columns? I don't get the right column. I don't know what is it about.
The right column? Okay.
The right one, yes.
Okay. The second one is talk about some situation. For example, consider implication before taking an action. Okay, for example, what can you consider implications before taking actions? How can you apply critical thinking in this case? Considering implications.
Implications before.
Okay. For example, consider implications.
I understand that is like a matching. For example, if you consider a difficult situation, you need to consider, number one, considering implication before taking an action. So you need to describe using that critical skill. So, for example, the boxer was evaluating evidence, as the professor said previously. So try to match some options and try to make sense your answers about the left column and the right column.
Yes, they are related. They are relating. Consider implication before taking action when faced with a difficult situation. It's important to consider the implications of each possible action before settling on a course of action. as you say, for example, the boxer consider the opponent, no? Maybe he knows the opponent, or he learns something about how he fights, something like that. No? There is, for example, what happens if you want to attend to a party? Okay. For example, if you want to attend to a party, you have to decide to go or not, no? And you have to think about the implications that you are going to have if you go to a party. Okay, because maybe you're gonna have a good time, whatever, or if you don't like drinking, for example, you say, oh no, I don't want to go to the party. Okay, maybe if you go to the party, you decide not to go to the party, you might miss an important deadline at work, no? Or making some connection to get a work, for example. Okay, so you can think about the implication that before taking an action. Okay.
So we have to elaborate as much examples we
Yes.
can,
Yes.
or just 4 or 5.
Well, we are at 8. Let's start. Choose. We had 20, 10 situations. Okay. Choose 10, and we're going to see how can you work with this. 10 situations on this.
Okay.
But you can do more, you can do it. So when you finish, you can upload your ideas on the forum one we have here on the platform. Okay, we have until 22:30 forum. Okay, here in the forum. Okay, in the forum. Okay, but we're going to stop to review something at night. What do you think? Okay, I'm going to divide you in groups, but I'm going to stop the groups at night. Okay, so you can share your ideas, or you can ask any question. Okay, and then you can continue working. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. 6. Yeah. 6. Okay. Entonces ustedes eligen, please. Choose one. Okay, entonces. Now you choose. Remember, 4 people in each. Okay. Muy bien, sala 2 y está completa. Okay. Muy bien, sala 3. Falta uno.
Good evening, Professor.
Good evening.
I had a question.
Yes.
I think you had trouble opening my files, my homework from yesterday.
Yes.
So I don't know. I uploaded them again, but you said that you again couldn't open them. So I was wondering if I could send you because of my grade.
Yeah. Okay, send it again. Please
Okay.
try to upload in a Word document. Okay.
Yes, I changed the format to Word and to PDF, but you said that you couldn't. So maybe on WhatsApp or on the platform.
Yeah, you can send it right now, so I can open here and then I can give you a grade on the platform.
Okay, on the platform or on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to send one.
Okay.
Okay, I already sent you.
Thank you. I will check.
Do I wait or do I join my room?
No, join your group. I'm going to check.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Okay, you're welcome.
Could you please give us a permission to share a screen to complete the assignment?
No la veo. Ahí está.
Ahí está la profe.
Profesor. Creo que no nos escucha.
Sorry. Yes, sorry. Yes, I'm going to close this. I'm going to out from this room so I can go to the main room to let you share the screen. Okay?
Screen.
The screen.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you.
Okay, Professor.
Professor, hello.
Yes.
Professor, can you help us? Can you we want to share our documents and pages.
Okay.
We can't because it's
You can? I already opened. I will try again.
yes,
Try again.
yes, no, it's okay.
Okay. That's it?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay, this is it.
Angelo, try to join to a group, please. Or you
I
going to
don't
work?
know which representative.
Okay.
Because I prefer to work alone, Professor.
Ah,
I
okay,
don't
okay.
know.
No problem.
Voy a taparla ya.
Okay, class. Wait a minute. Not going to. Okay, I was checking the exercise. You have done very well, very nice work. Okay. I'm sharing you something. This is an article. Okay. This article is digital information literacy, support the development of capability in tertiary environments. Final report. Okay. This is like a thesis, but this is a report. Okay. In this case, they had acknowledgement. Here you can see the format. 2000, the date. Okay. We're going to analyze. Okay. According to our CRAP. Right now, orally. Okay. Yeah, the CRAP test. We're going to see CRAP test. CRAP test. Sorry. Not CRAP test. A minute. Okay. So the first question is, where does information come from? Can you see? Where does information come from? Okay, a ver.
No, Professor, we cannot see.
You cannot see?
I'm not following you.
Okay. a ver. Okay. We have the date. We can see, no? But it is University of Otago, es aquí. They are from university. The project was led by Otago Polytechnic in New Zealand. Okay? So this was a project that came from New Zealand. Okay? The Otago Polytechnic. Okay? Okay, let's continue analyzing the document. What is the other question? Sorry. The other question says, okay. And are there other sources that verify the information? Is it supported by the evidence? Maybe this part of acknowledgement gives us an idea, no? How this word is supported by these researchers. Okay, we can find this. Okay. Okay, let's continue with this. Has the information been reviewed or referred? Yes or no? What do you think? I will share the document.
I think so because
Okay, I will share the document on the platform so you can have it, okay? And we are going to analyze. Just a moment, please. Okay, this document will also help you to have an idea how to organize a report, okay? That's why we are analyzing. Let's subir. Ahí no quiere subir. Okay. Now you can open the platform. It's there. It's digital. Digital information literacy. Digital information literacy. Okay. We're going to analyze very, very fast. You can open there, the platform. Okay. So to move our okay. Take out your prep test. Okay. And we are going to analyze. Okay. Question number 1 about accuracy. Let's say that podría ser María Magne. María Magne. Answer those questions for this, okay? The question of accuracy. María Magne. Okay. Number 1, all the questions that you have here according to this document, okay? Jose Daniel, you're going to answer authority, the questions about authority, okay? Rode Quispe, relevance, yeah, relevance. Caballero Andrea, Could you please answer currency? Currency. Okay, you have to look for currency. Number 5, Miss Natalie, could you please answer purpose? Purpose of this document? Answer the questions, okay, about this document. Purpose. Okay? So you can read and answer. The document. Okay?
Sorry, I can't find the document on the web. Professor, I can't find the document.
There is on the platform, digital information.
Yes.
You open
Let's
the
see.
platform. Can you?
Class 1C.
It's in the
That's-
bottom. It is the next one.
Forum Digital Information Literacy.
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
But
Okay,
I can't find.
Okay. Jose.
I opened that document and it's in English and very long document.
Yeah, but you only have to find the answers to the question for purpose.
Okay, for purpose. Okay, okay.
Yes, only for purpose. Okay. A ver, entonces vamos con Johnny. Johnny, the same. A ver, you're going to answer the answers in this document about authority. Authority. We are going to compare your answer with your classmates, okay?
Okay,
Kayla,
Professor.
Kayla, please. Accuracy. Okay? Accuracy. Valeria. Valeria. Relevance. Relevance. Okay? Another one. Maria Belén. Maria Belén. Purpose. Okay? Purpose. Ruth Franco. Ruth Franco. Currency. Currency. Okay? Angelo. Okay. Angelo Camacho. Relevance. Relevance. Sandra Mercedes. Authority. Eric. Accuracy. Accuracy. Rolando. Authority. Okay, Rolando. Authority. Celia Trujillo.
Okay.
Purpose. Purpose again. Maria Jose. Maria Jose. Currency. Maria Jose.
Okay,
Currency.
Professor.
Okay. Genesis. Relevance. Genesis. Relevance. Lorena Monzón. Authority. Durán Parada Alejandro. Accuracy. Mariana Rodríguez. Authority. Alicia Morales. Relevance. Laura Amador. Laura Amador. Currency.
Yes, Professor.
Currency.
Okay. Okay.
Leonela. Purpose. Ana Rocío Palenque.
Yes, Professor.
Okay. With the husband. Ana Rocío Palenque. Currency. Currency. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ok, a ver, vamos a hacerlo así bien, bien rapidito porque ya no tenemos mucho tiempo, ¿ok? Accuracy, a ver. Accuracy. ¿A quién les dije que tenían que buscar accuracy? Accuracy.
Me, professor.
Ok. Muy bien. Raise your virtual hand. Sorry. Raise your virtual hand, please. Okay. Kayla, puedes. Kayla, puedes. Eric. Eric, ya. Ya, los cuatro, ¿no? Ya. Muy bien. Entonces, vamos, una pregunta por cada uno, ¿listo? Kayla, the first question. Where does the document come from? O cualquiera de los de ese mismo. Rapidito.
It comes from researcher Brown, Eric Gauti, de Merlin Pena, and Manukau Institute of Technology, Lynn Jeffrey, Massey University, Don Corburn, and Jenny McDonald University of Ottawa.
Yeah. What about the others? Do you agree with her? General. María Magne.
I agree with her, Professor.
Perdón. Could you repeat, please? Sorry.
With her, Professor.
Thank you.
I think that's
Yeah.
authority.
Yeah, that's it. Muy bien. Muy bien, Durán lo dijo, ¿no? Okay. Yes, you got it. Second question. Are there other sources that verify the information? Is it supported by evidence? A ver.
Yes, there are. For example, the New Zealand Digital Strategy, Ministry of Economic Development,
Yeah.
Also write
Yeah.
Copeland and Platinum.
Yes. Okay, good. Okay, let's move on very fast, very fast. Has the information been reviewed or referred? Cualquiera del grupo, por favor, rapidito. María, Durán, Sheila.
The research team is extremely grateful to several people for their valuable contribution to the project, and they are Don Corbin, and they mention all the names. A lot of names.
Okay. And does the language or tone seem unbiased or free of emotion? Anybody, please? Anybody? Very quickly. Well,
Yes, it does because it is a research study.
Yeah, that's it. Very good. Okay, that's it. Let's move on to the next, please, very quickly. Talk about the authority. Authority. Okay, Yoni, muy bien. Keep your hand up. Yoni, ¿quién más? ¿Quién más, por favor? Sandra.
Mi profesor.
Okay, Sandra Mercedes. Okay, very good. Who else? ¿Alguien más? No, María Magna ya va a
Daniel.
Rolando. Rolando, okay. Muy bien.
Daniel.
Ah, usted José Daniel también, ¿no? Okay. So the first question is, who is the author, publisher, source, sponsor? Who is the author?
Author is, where is it? Brown Hegarty and Mon Hegarty, Merrilee Penman, and Oriel Kelly. They are
Yes.
three. Two
Yes.
institutions, Otago Polytechnic and Manukau Institute of Technology.
Very good. Are they experts in the field of information you are researching?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. That's right. Question number 3 says, is there contact information such as publisher or email address?
Not here, Professor, but I searched it in the internet, and yes, there appears emails of contacts.
Okay.
But in this paper, no, there's no information.
No, there is none. Okay. Good. The other question is the information part of the main web page or is a separate document? Oh, well, in this case, it's in the same page, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does the URL reveal anything about the author or the source?
The source is the government of New Zealand.
So that's it. Excellent. Thank you very much. Relevance. Relevance. Who was Durán? Okay. Durán, ¿quién más? Who else? Relevance. Genesis. Muy bien. Okay. Durán y Rode. Genesis, Rode y Durán. Okay. Let's move on. Are all sides of a question presented? Are there limitations? Can you say about that? Rode? What can you say?
I think the question, all the questions presented have was presented on this document because the people who participate on this case study in this action research have a
Yeah.
positive change result for almost all participants, and they gain more information, or they were trained on this project.
Okay.
The limitation, it have the numbers of the participant, the ethnicity, and the time of the action research.
Yes. Okay. Is information at appropriate level? Is information for a specific audience?
No, it isn't for open audience because it says that the information is for people interested in the topic.
Yes. Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay. What about the next? Sorry. Currency. Was it the date of information has been updated? Is currency important for your subject, or will other sources work as well? Is information outdated? Are the links functional for online information? Those 4 questions.
According to the website, that was last updated in September 2021. It is always important to consider the currency of the information you use, especially
Yeah.
when dealing with education systems or policies that may undergo changes over time. The information is outdated. And also the link is functional according to the information on the website.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. What about the next? Purpose. What is the purpose of the information? What is the purpose of information?
The purpose is to inform and to teach also what they found in all the groups. They have the information now, and so it's to inform and to teach.
Okay, thank you, Natalie. Okay. Wait. Okay. Okay. What are the opinions of the author? Can you find them?
Well, from my point of view, I couldn't find a personal opinion in the document about the other.
Yeah. Yes. Good. Very good. Thank you. What about you, Leras? Is information fact, opinion, or propaganda? Propaganda.
It's information fact because they have a studies case.
Yes. That's it. Okay, does the point of view appear objective and impartial?
It appears to be objective and impartial.
Yeah. Are there political, ideological, cultural, religious, institutional, or personal biases? What do you think? I suppose I have to sit, but
I guess it's institutional because it's from a university, no?
yes, that's it. Okay, very good, very good. Excellent. This is an example of how they format the report. Well, this is a very long report, but you can get some ideas how it's formatted. Okay, the introduction, how they, for example, here, sorry. I'm going to show you. So when you develop a report, you can follow the structure, the formatting, the way they present the work. Okay. And later we're going to see what are the names of the part, why this kind of report is formatting in this way, the chapter. It's similar to a thesis, no? Thesis, for example, here in Bolivia, a master thesis to get a degree of master, and you can prepare something like this, okay? But it is based on reports, so it's very important to develop two reports, okay? So we can see here, for example, well, this is the title. The title should be short, not very long. And here, for example, say final report. Okay. Also, you have the name, the people who work in here, the date, and you are supported by someone, by some place. You have to acknowledge if your work has been very long, you can work here. Okay, like this acknowledge. Also, your report should have a table of contents, and you have to show very well the parts of your report, chapter 1, chapter 2. Okay. And in this case, for example, we have the executive summary, okay, introduction, methodology, findings, chapter 1, introduction to the project, chapter 2, teacher tool review, chapter 3, methodology, chapter 4, results, chapter 5, cases, okay, chapter 6, discussion. You had also conclusions, references, appendices. You had appendices, you had to put in the order, put in the order, okay? And if you had figures, also you are going to have figures, okay? This is the way that you should present a work, no? A project, a report, okay? Well, in this case, it won't be too long because we don't have enough time to do a lot of research, okay? But we're trying to do this something similar, a short one, but very well done, okay?
Professor, this paper is a research. Are we going to do similar research?
Well, this is a report. Okay, they present the research final report. Okay, this is just an example. We're going to see other examples, but this is a university research, and they present a report. So in this module, you are going to present a report of a small research that we are going to do in these 2 weeks. That's why you started looking for information yesterday, and you have to continue looking for some information, okay? Tomorrow, we are going to start talking about the topic, the questions, and something like that. So you can start doing your small, not too long, small research to present a report, okay? Yes.
Okay, Professor.
Okay. Okay, class. So I think that's all for today. Thank you very much, Eureka, as always. So see you tomorrow. Good night.
See you tomorrow, Professor.
Have a good night, Professor.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, Professor.
Bye, Professor. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.